Tributes are pouring in for former First Lady Barbara Bush. She died at her home in Houston after declining further medical treatment to prolong her life. Mrs. Bush was 92 years old. Kenneth Craig reports for WJZ on what she meant to her family and our nation.
Former First Lady Barbara Pierce Bush's political roots ran deep. She was a distant cousin to the nation's 14th president, Franklin Pierce, but America knew her as the matriarch of a political dynasty, the wife of the 41st president, mother of the 43rd president, and a governor.
I'd love to have a hug.
And she liked to think of herself as everybody's grandmother.
And speaking of glamour, I want you all to look at me very carefully. Please notice the hair, the makeup, designer clothes.
But her legacy is literacy. As First Lady, she launched a campaign to help people learn to read.
If more people could read, write, and comprehend, we would be that much closer to solving so many of the problems that plague our nation.
Mrs. Bush was 16 when she met George Herbert Walker Bush during a Christmas break. She left college to marry Mr. Bush after he returned home a hero from World War II. She had 6 children and lost a daughter to leukemia at the age of 3. She avoided any public involvement in her husband's role as commander-in-chief. But when President Bush fell ill at a state dinner in Tokyo, White House staffers called on Mrs. Bush to calm international concern about the president's health.
But I'm beginning to think it's the ambassador's fault. He and George played the Emperor and the Crown Prince in tennis today, and they were badly beaten. And we Bushes aren't used to that.
Barbara Bush will be remembered as a gracious First Lady who headed one of the nation's most prominent political families. Kenneth Craig, reporting for WJZ.
And funeral plans for Mrs. Bush have yet to be announced.